So, after a while of keeping you guys waiting for the next series on this channel, we have it! The new career mode, and it is going to be... West Ham United! And of course, known as... the Irons! Come on! Hey guys, and welcome back to the MWS channel. I am Maximus, of course, and today we are starting the brand new series. If you are here from Grimsby before, thank you guys for staying tuned, and if you're new to the channel, welcome to the West Ham career mode. As you can see right there, my manager is made. One day, I promise you, I might have a manager that actually looks a little bit like me, but I don't really care for that. I was planning on building Moyes at the start, but then again, it is hard to quite mimic a zombie in career mode, so we're gonna go with myself, well, the bit of myself. The usual manager name from England, although we will not take an England job if it comes, and we've got the macaroon unbuttoned shirt on with a couple of jeans and then some flat black shoes. I think they're okay, as yes, we will take over the Hammers in the top division of English football. Not the biggest wage, not the biggest club, but really doing well in real life, and I would like to try and take them to the promised land. Of course, meaning the Champions League and beyond, as I have attempted at changing my sliders a little bit for this series. I was usually winning games when I had a good team, then it felt like it was a little uncompetitive, so it's harder right now. We're going to use Sterling's, enable European competitions, then financial takeover is disabled. We're going to change that to strict negotiations, make it as hard as possible, disable international, and of course the stadium we are not going to change, but it is the glorious London Stadium. If you have not seen that, an amazing stadium in the Premier League in England. So without further ado, let's dive into this. So, of course, we're going to start off by picking the pre-season tournament, as well as we have the European Shield, Champions League, and European International Cup. You usually go for the one with the most money, but I'm looking at the one we might win. And actually, to be fair, it's between the European Cups, so I might as well go for the one with the most money. We also have Berlin, Eibar, my old team that I've managed before, and of course, doesn't really matter, I do simulate these. As here we go, jumping straight into the Irons team. Today will be hopefully mostly transfers and looking around the club as we set sail in a bright future, hopefully, with the Hammers. As I'm going to do the first thing I usually do and just discard all these messages. I will get through it in my own time, boys. Don't rush me, Sullivan. And the other one, I've already forgot the names. Just the brothers that no one likes, and there's another vulgar name for it, which I will not be saying, as we're going to look at the objectives. Youth development is low, surprisingly, something I want to focus on this year. Sign at least 2 players younger than 20. I feel like that's very, very easily done, as we need to get a 7 streak of 1 goal scored in home matches and sign 1 veteran. That's unusual. Usually want the youth as no continental success. They want us to finish mid-table and reach an FA Cup semi-final, so we're going to have to push ourselves in that, along with financial gain 81 million in shirt sales, and then within 3 seasons increase the club's worth by 30%. It's a very difficult challenge, but I'll try and get that done because it looks like the most important one. Oh, and I don't even know it, as I will recruit a youth staff member, but I'm going to look at the academy first, as it's got us a beautiful one in rare already. Jay Hammond, 17-year-old, 72 rated at 17. Now that is magical. I don't know if I put him straight in. I think I might do, you know, number 99. An amazing prospect. Almost like Blake Cole from the Arsenal save. I think he's got to go in straight away, hasn't he? Promote. We've looked out a bit there. I think it might be through the Ultimate Edition. And I don't think I'm going to use him much in the first year, so we'll try and get him out on loan. As for the other 2, Oleg Golovin and Nicholas Peter, I'll keep them around, but not promote them. One thing I will be doing before I look at any other players and loaning systems is look at the team. So this is the default starting 11. Actually, I think I messed around with these at the start of the year, so I've probably just put it as the strongest ones out there, as I do like the look of this team. Fabianski injured in real life. A keeper I do want to keep around despite his age, which is 35. Yeah, maybe we need a backup for him, as Kufal's decent, Ogbonna, Diop, Cresswell, Declan Rice I definitely want to keep, and Souček, as that reminds me of something we need to do after I look at this team. We've got Bowen, Lingard, Antonio, of course. Lingardini I want to try and keep. Benrahma on the bench, and a lot of players I want to mess around with down here. Lanzini, a gem, want to use him. Dawson, actually good in real life. Balbuena. The possibilities are endless, as the next thing we need to do is we have looked, of course, at the objectives in-game, but it's look at our objectives out of game. As here you are on the screen, the objectives board, pretty plain and simple. Going to try and go to this every single season, if not. But the first one is one over 2 seasons. I want to keep Declan Rice at the club. Of course, probably get a lot of interest from United, Chelsea and City, but he is our main boy. As the next one is something I kind of don't want to do at the start of the season, because I know how good our youth player already is, and I want to get him out on loan, is have one player from the youth academy in the team at all times. Now for this, I'm probably going to dip into using Declan Rice as that one, and probably the reserves already in the squad, see if there's any potential right there. As the third one, pretty standard I think, keep the West Ham captain Matt Noble at every game, and of course that means he's got to have the armband when he's on the field. Going to try and put him on the bench as much as I can, just to have him there, and just because he bleeds West Ham. The next one is pretty harder. Try and have a player within the top 5 goal scorers for as many seasons as possible, and I try and bend this a little bit as well. Maybe count it as the assists, because I think a top scorer at West Ham in the first season might be quite hard. And the final one, something I did on my rebuild series, try and keep it real with at least 5 English players in the squad each game, and I feel like that's kind of acceptable. We've got the bench, of course, to play around with that as well. And of course, if we don't go England, I will count UK. I like to bend the rules a little bit, so they are not set in stone, but I do want to try and keep close to them. As of course, if you guys have got any comments for any, please do feel free to put them down below, along with sign-ins, as we need to get moving a little bit. But before that, again, we're going to look at the squad hub. And I don't want to be listing any players straight away, because I haven't got to see them play, as we've got quite a few players out. And I think the main thing that I do need to do before I transfer list any of these or do anything about them is get Hammond on loan. Of course, not release the player, get him on the loan list to try and get him some valuable game time. And also, because they annoy me staring at them, I think I'm going to try and get the no-faced players out on loan, just to see if they're actually worth staying here. And after that, we are going to get scouting and, of course, look at some players that I've already got on a list in the shortlist. So I will show you them shortly, as I need to search them up, and of course they won't be scouted, but they are players I have looked at trying to fit into this team. As here are the players I've got listed, nothing is for certain. As you can see, I like my Etienne players, Mukuli, and I think one that might be popular with you guys is Lucas Gurner. We've got Callum Styles on there as a left wing back option, and Josh Reed, who looks great for Coventry, 18-year-old. Samba, or Sambia, who looks decent at Montpellier, had him in Ultimate Team. Barkhausen, who's good in real life. Same with Lawrence, same with Tomlin, and Moffat, who looks like a really decent striker for the future. But of course, despite looking at these, we are going to scout them up and see what their actual ratings are, because I actually don't know myself. And of course, the signings of big multitude will go down to you guys. If that word even is a real thing. Realised as soon as I'd said it, as straight away we've got messages left, right and centre from the loan boys. But 2 transfer offers in. One for Matt Noble, which I know can be rejected straight away. West Ham through and through is not leaving the club. And one for a swap deal from Beibu for Issa Diop plus 3 million, which is not bad at all. Ilyas Beibu being a player I am rather intrigued at. But just because it's early days and he is a 23-year-old centre-back who, of course, isn't really easy to replace, I am going to reject it. But if bids come in like that in the future, I'm going to be very happy in this series. And of course, as you can see here, I am taking advice from you guys before all series long telling me about training, and I said I would repeat it better in the next save. So there we go. We've tried to train the boys up in the reserves to try and up their fitness and of course get them better. And we have received a loan offer here straight away for Jay Hammond from Lazio for 2 years. So I'm going to propose a 1-year deal and see if we can get it through, as them wages completely suitable for me, and we might have him out straight away to a club in European competition. At least we're not selling him like we did Harper in the last series, so I feel like that is a good one, as we'll let him go and get some valuable experience, as we're going to play the first team straight away in this game. Just the recommended squad for Sampdoria awaiting a simulation, which is going to be Fabianski in goal, Kufal, Ogbonna, Diop and Cresswell, Fornals, Declan Rice, Souček and Bowen, with Lingard supporting Antonio. This is not, of course, set in stone though. that is the team I have picked because it's the starter and I feel like it should be the best. But nothing's guaranteed, as let's see what can happen. Going to be a quick sim as well because I want to get on with the series. As it's a 1-0 defeat in the first one, and Diop even getting injured. Souček even getting sent off at the start as well. Not a good start for the Czechoslovakian. Damsgaard with the goal. And that ain't a great start at all, as how long is the injury? 3 months! Okay, so the offer with Diop we could have actually accepted because we won't have him for the start of the Prem as well. As Souček's got a 2-match ban for this pre-season tournament. I'm going to have to change it up, aren't I? That is terrible. And speaking of the Premier League's actually got me thinking. We have Liverpool first. Of course we do. Of course we do. I can't remember if that was in real life as well. But I'll just have to take it, as I'm going to change it up for the next game as well against SD Eibar, a team very close to my heart. It's going to be Randolph in goal, Fredericks, Ogbonna, Dawson and Masuaku with Fornal still in there. Rice the same, Noble comes in, of course he does, with Bowen, Ben Rama and Antonio again, because I do need a backup striker. That looks probably like priority number 1 or first team. You never know, it could be a first team if they are good enough. As let's see what we can do against the Spanish outfit this time round. I really do want to win to try and get through to the next stage, as it's going to be a quick sim. Says we're away, of course it's a pre-season tournament, as this is a 2-0 win. Although we did have less of the ball. Concerning as Antonio with a brace. I trust that man. And I'm also proud of this one. Going out on loan is Jay Hammond with Lanzini getting an offering from Wolfsburg. Don't want him turning into the next De Bruyne. So, I mean, I don't think the chances are high, but I will reject that one as well. I'm going into this last game, as you can see, with a couple more switches. Nothing too important to write home about, as hopefully we won't be going home as well. I want to stay in this pre-season tournament and try and get a bit more money. 32 million, not the best in the Premier League, definitely not the best, as let's try and get a win against Alaves, a team that I don't like that much, and they've beaten us. Of course they've beaten us. It's Rioja with the goal. No red card this time, but we might actually be out of pre-season. Is that the case? It is the case, yep. Straight onto the league table, as of course we're in the relegation zone. They want me out, the fans, I bet, because we're not doing well enough. Oh wait, no, we've only played 0 games. It's okay. The board aren't too bothered as well, but when other? As I think it can't be a first episode as well without a signing being made, and I'm looking at all these players, and I'm kind of fancying one of the Champions ones. It's either between Tom Lawrence and maybe just getting Josh Reed straight in from Coventry. 60 rated at 18, you know I love my Scottish left backs. I think everyone does with how well they are doing in real life right now. So I'm thinking about that guy. We've got Aaron Cresswell and Masuaku, and then no one really behind them. So I think I'm going to go in for Josh Reed to start things off with. Let's go straight in, and probably should have checked that beforehand. Oh well, I do like the look of Tom Lawrence, 71 rated, but then again we do have Jay Hammond, who is out on loan. But I think Tom Lawrence might not even be here a year. He's not going to be a first teamer, and I do think he's too good for the Championship. Of course, Derby down low at the moment in real life, so I'm going to try and save him. And of course, no disrespect to Derby in that last thing I said. I do, of course, admire the club. I think they've done very well with Wayne Rooney at the helm to try and avoid relegation, as we'll offer what he's worth and they'll accept it straight away. Possibly could have got him cheaper, but I don't think I'm going to moan. Hopefully he takes a rotational. That's something I want to do this year. Get players actually on their right squad role, because if he pushes for important, he wouldn't be signing. I want players understanding where they stand. As a 4-year contract, bit high, but I'll accept that one. I don't care about lengths. Disregard the release clause and give him a decent wage. I think the signing on bonus could be around 400k. I don't know if that's generous or not. As we'll offer 20k with wages. Maybe he's a bit not happy with that. As no, he sees it reasonable. Okay, Tom Lawrence is the first signing of the West Ham era, and I do really rate that signing. Of course, doesn't get in the first team, but definitely behind Fornals. And it's been a while now since you last saw me. Of course, just a transition for you guys, as Odiku has a loan offer right here from VVV Velonho, or Velno, from the Eredivisie, if I'm gonna guess. And of course, that means we are a striker light, and I know you guys like to suggest your players, so I'm going to hopefully get the cheapest one here, although he is still a little bit expensive, so you guys can provide me with some great suggestions, which you always do, so thank you a lot for that. As I'm going to go in for Mama Balde. He is, of course, like a third of our budget still, so he is expensive, but he can play right midfield, 24 and from Dijon, so a similar level in France, so I hopefully think he might see that it's a big prospect to play in the Premier League and of course will join us. Making the move as Lawrence did, as I'm going to try and get this guy on the cheap though. I don't want to be just willy-nilly spending my money. I'm going to offer 9.75 and not a player swap, a sell-on clause. I'm going to try and utilise these this season with a 5%. I feel like that's a reasonable offer, and can they accept it? No, but they do want Andrea Yarmolenko in the other way, who is a player I kind of still do want to give a chance, so I am going to reject that, although he isn't one of my starters, and I'll offer 10.2, I'll offer that, just that plain and simple, as they want 13 and 15%, oh dear. I'll try and meet them kind of a little bit halfway with 11.5 and an 8% sell-on clause, as will they accept that? No, they're going back with higher, which I'm not going to play chasing game. I'm going to offer 12.5 and 10, and that is going to be my last offer to, of course, Dijon. Because if he grows and we want to sell him, I want someone with potential. So Mama Balde, you're not joining West Ham. So I think I'm going to have to change the option I go for, and another player we actually can attempt to sign, and I do want to as well, although he's the backup option, is Dario Benedetto from Marseille. Of course, playing at a high level, but I feel like will be replaced easily for them anyway, as he does have a high wage, but I do want an experienced striker, and of course, not much of our budget, so you guys can keep on suggesting, as that's what I'm trying to think about here. But get some quality in today. I feel like it was a big mistake going out at the stage that we did, of course, in the other pre-season competition, as we'll offer 7 million, should be accepted, 30-year-old. In fact, as no, Walt Balbuena +5, and he's not a player, of course, I want to get rid of. I want to keep the spine of the squad. If you do want me to sell anyone, do feel free to tell me, but I'm going to try and keep a little bit of a spine together, as that's accepted. And he does take the rotational, 3-year contract as well, and an in-game face with a pay cut. That is glorious, as he does want a goal bonus as well, but if he scores 5, I will give him 200k, because I think that's worth it. Benedetto is the second signing. And also, I even forgot about that, it does meet the financial report in buying a veteran, so he will go onto the bench straight away for the Premier League season, I think, as I do have my Premier League first squad kind of played out right there. If there's any changes you would make, tell me down below. The only big one I think I'm missing is Suchet, but of course he got suspended in pre-season, so hasn't really had a pre-season. Can't rush him in, as it looks like Benedetto has as well. That diamond, of course, being yellow. Good to see. And I think apart from that, we are more or less ready for the Premier League season in the next episode. I will sim up to that day, but before that, one thing I'm forgetting about is getting our scout out there, Jensen Bennett, the English scout, which of course is going to go to England for 9 months. Costs a little bit, but I do want to find a little bit as well. Some good prospects, as we'll delete that message and sim up to the Liverpool day to see if anything happens. As so far, no injuries, and I'm actually thinking, if you guys are suggesting players, I do need to scout them, so no. I will resist temptation, and I will put the controller down and end the episode out right here. So thank you guys for watching episode 1. I know it isn't the most entertaining things. We have signed 2 players, but I do of course want to leave them down to you guys as well. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully you stay tuned to the West Ham career mode. I do want to go far with this one, possibly less seasons than Grimsby, but still around 3, 4 or 5. As yes, I will see you in the next one. Like, comment, share and subscribe with the notification bell on as well, so you do not miss an episode on the channel. And take care, in a bit, and peace.